GM, everybody, welcome to another installment of the DeFi Defender, Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Yes, crypto is nuking, but let's stay positive. Let's have a little reminder of the good things that are happening right now. I'm not a chart guy, never professed to be a chart guy, but I am a crypto law person, and I do study what's going on with respect to the changes in the legal and the regulatory frameworks that are coming. So I thought it would be a good time to do a little morale boost at this moment. Ethereum is nuking. Bitcoin is under 90,000. Solana's under 150, touching 130. I know. However, stay positive. Don't panic. And remember, we just inaugurated the first ever pro-crypto president in United States history. Think about what crypto markets would look like right now if we were still operating under Biden's policies, if we still had Elizabeth Warren in control of the Senate, and if we still had Gary Gensler at the SEC. So let's start with a little reminder. Let's try to refocus here and remember the long game. First off, the SEC has been pausing legal action in the crypto sector. They have agreed to a dismissal of the Coinbase lawsuit. It was reported yesterday by Robinhood that it appears that their Wells notice is going to be a no action notice, meaning that there is going to be no enforcement action against Robinhood. We're seeing across the board a reset. Attorneys at the SEC are no longer able to initiate enforcement actions without approval from on high. Now let's talk about on high. We are on the verge of getting Paul Atkins as the new chair of the SEC. You could not ask for a more pro-crypto chair. As to the CFTC, Brian Quintanez, former CFTC commissioner, known for his pro-crypto stance, has been nominated to take over at the CFTC. We have Hester Pierce, however you want to go. I believe the correct pronunciation is Hester Peirce. So, Hester, better known as Crypto Mom, is in charge of a crypto task force that is basically talking about a reset in the conversation, talking about a better regulatory framework, a sandbox framework, regulatory clarity, acknowledging that we've gone through an era of incredible misinformation, incredible confusion in the crypto sector, and now we have a task force that's trying to reset the dialogue. We have a crypto czar coming in. I could not be more bullish on the legal and regulatory prognosis for this sector. There is no denying that with the tone that's been from on high in the Trump administration, with the people he's put in place, we have a commerce secretary, we have a treasury secretary who is Bitcoin bullish. We have a Congress that's prioritizing a stablecoin bill and regulatory clarity. We have all previous headwinds that we were facing in the United States with respect to crypto turning into tailwinds. So yes, currently we're seeing a market correction. Is that unusual? Some people will say the real bull market hasn't even started. Some people will say the bull market came and went. You should have sold the top. I don't know. Again, I'm not a chart person, but what I do know is we went from a climate of extreme regulatory enforcement regulation practices that stifled innovation in this sector, that pushed innovation offshore. And we're now seeing a reset of that conversation. We're seeing companies in the crypto sector interested in coming back to the United States to do business. Most everything was happening offshore. Why? Because we lacked regulatory clarity and we had a very aggressive SEC that was pushing an enforcement agenda. So I wanted to kind of reset the conversation. I know the market's nuking. I know it looks terrible. However, look at the long tail here. Focus on the big picture. Zoom out and look at all the things that have been put in place with respect to the legislature, with respect to the legislative bodies that are now looking at crypto, looking at choke point 2.0. We could realistically see a congressional inquiry into Treasury into exactly what happened with the FDIC and with the debankment of banks who would not do business with the crypto sector. So all of this is to say, stay positive, don't panic, and look at the long game here. Because if you focus on those regulatory changes that are coming and those tailwinds that we're seeing right now that are pushing the sector forward, you could not have a setup for a more promising future for crypto in the United States. Yes, we're seeing tariffs. Yes, we're seeing threats of inflation. But what I think we're seeing on a broader perspective from the smart people that I'm listening to is that we're seeing conditions for a weaker dollar. We're seeing conditions for potential rate cuts and increased liquidity coming into the system. If we see a weaker dollar, increased liquidity, and rate cuts coming in, then it's very likely that risk assets are going to benefit from all of that. You couple that with what's happening at SEC, CFTC, what's happening in Congress, the fact we've had major litigation cases against the biggest centralized crypto exchanges in the United States being abandoned, dismissed. We're essentially seeing a complete reset of how this country is approaching crypto. And I haven't even touched upon a sovereign wealth fund in the United States for crypto, a potential cryptocurrency reserve. We don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know what assets are going to be in it. But what I do know is that we've got Michael Saylor talking to United States officials about how to leverage Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. So, in conclusion, don't panic. I understand. Sell if you have to, of course. Never, ever would I ever sell shame anyone. But if you are in a position to ride this out, just consider the long game and stay focused on what's coming. Because I don't want to see you get shaken out for fear of what you're seeing in the news feed, especially on Crypto X. It can tend to get doom and gloom. It can tend to be really nihilistic. However, when you zoom out and see the charts and see where we're at in the big picture, and you factor into that, we have never seen this kind of regulatory tailwinds behind the crypto sector in the United States. I can't help but believe better days are coming. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. As always, give me a follow on X at the DeFi Defender. If you want to get daily updates on what's going on in crypto and legal regulatory and how it impacts the broader crypto markets on a macro level, subscribe to my newsletter, the DeFi Defender. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining the conversation. Have a great day. Stay safe, and maybe not look at the charts so much right now, especially not the 1 minute charts. Have a great day, everybody.